This is the Perfect Being. I'm here to tell you all to subscribe to the perfect channel, UnrealEntGaming. Please remember to turn on your notifications to be the first to know about the latest in Dragon Ball news and information. And if you don't, very soon you will all be dead, along with your entire planet.
Dragon Ball Super Episode 98 is now officially in the history books as we move on forward into Dragon Ball Super Episode 99, and joining me here today to share our thoughts and predictions as to the upcoming episode is my good friend Emish is live, as we're going to be sharing our thoughts and predictions as to what may or may not happen in next week's episode. And again, if you guys have any opinions of your own and any comments to add, go on ahead and drop your comments down the comment section below as to what you guys think is going to happen in Dragon Ball Super Episode 99. And don't forget to also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to be a part of the notification squad, hashtag notification squad, and subscribe to Emish's Live's channel. Emish, we're back once again. The Tournament of Power continues, and we just spoke a little briefly about it. And now that your mind is fresh after watching the episode just now, actually, I wanted to get your thoughts on the following. So, your boy Krillin is going to be involved next week with Android 18, and seeing as to what we're getting, I have a feeling that the person that's going to be giving Android 18 a difficult time and possibly, you know, having to push her closer to the edge might be Frost. So what I wanted to get your thoughts on is, who do you think is going to be the person that's going to be giving Android 18 a very, you know, indefinite fight that's going to push her to her limits? And what are your overall expectations from Krillin as we see the title, hence, you know, Krillin's true power, and where do you see him stand in next week's episode?
Well, the previews talk about Universe 4, and then they showcase Android 18 coming across Frost towards the end. Right. So, and we know based on previews, they have a habit of mixing scenes. So it's like, you know, towards the end of the preview could actually be the beginning of the episode, and towards the, you know, and vice versa. I feel like it would make sense for it to be Frost, but then it's like, well, why mention Universe 4 so heavily, right? So based on the previews and the way they've kind of styled their as to how they're portraying the tournament, it seems like they'll give certain characters some screen time, and then that's like a hint as to what's next to come in terms of who's next to go.
Yes.
Right? So based on Universe 4, I would say Universe 4 is probably the next weakest universe. I don't see Universe 6 getting hit this early, let alone if Krillin does, you know, because based on spoilers, and spoilers are, guys, if you guys follow that, if you don't, I apologize. So based on spoilers, we know Krillin's gonna get disqualified. So the only things that you're getting disqualified for is if you kill somebody, or if you use a weapon, or if you use a healing item. So I think to protect Krillin's character, the most logical thing was if he accidentally kills somebody, right? So then it's like, well, how would they portray that? Would they actually kill off Frost if that's the case, right? Because then Frost is kind of essential to Frieza's plan. That's if they decide to take it that far. There's so many things that come into, you know, that come into question. So I feel like it's gonna be somebody from Universe 4. Who it is exactly, I don't know. I just feel like we haven't seen a lot of Universe 4 yet, so I feel like they're next in line, and because of that, we're gonna see a lot more Universe 4. And then towards the end of the episode, you know, maybe something happens where Android 18 comes across Frost, and then, you know, we'll see what happens with that. Maybe maybe a Universe 4 character gets involved in that fight between 18 and Frost or something like that. That comes in. I don't know. Anything could happen because there's all these these universes fighters coming into the mix. So anything could just, you know, the same thing we saw today. When we finished the episode last week, we saw like 5 or 6 different fighters in front of Goku. But then this one, for the most of the episode, we only saw the trio of the Dangers, right? Right. So it's questionable, but I think it's Universe 4.
So you think in your prediction that Universe number 4 is going to be the one to eliminate Krillin?
I would say, if he gets disqualified, yeah.
Because for me, I really do think this is going to involve something with Universe number 6. Given the fact that we see, I think it's episode 100, where Vegeta begins to have, you know, an animosity towards Universe 6. So, and plus, it makes sense having to see what happened in this episode, because if you paid attention, right before the ending of the final Kamehameha having to push the trio of Dangers out,
Khalifa was there.
Khalifa and Kale. So this gives you a great idea for Khalifa to say, hey, so that Super Saiyan Blue stuff you did, teach me. And plus Vegeta having to get more involved, having to see what Frost did to 18 and stuff. So my prediction is this. I think that Frost is going to be the one, because we haven't seen anything from him either. At least in this episode, we saw stuff from Frieza, which I thought was great. So I think that to build to that, you're going to have to do something with Frost. You can't just do something with Frieza and not include Frost. So I think Look ahead.
They show Universe 10 too with Krillin, like the parrot.
Right, yeah, like
such
that
waste,
rabbit and like that bird,
and
yeah.
The Destructo Disc kind of clips his wing a little bit, stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, based on spoilers, it looks like it has something to do with the Kienzan. So right now, that's the only thing we got from the preview was that it clipped the wing or something like that. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be difficult to tell. But if it would be cool, it would be a really big plot twist if Frost somehow gets eliminated this early.
That would be that would piss a lot of people off.
Yeah, I suppose because we didn't see that much interaction.
Right.
Between Frieza and I guess it would be wasted. So,
I,
yeah.
I honestly think the person to eliminate Krillin is probably gonna be Frost. I mean, it also kind of like throws you back to like Dragon Ball Z when Frieza pretty much attacked Krillin. So it's it's like, wow, what better person to throw out Krillin than Frost? Someone that's a mirror version of Frieza. Since Frieza can't do it because he'll get in trouble by Beerus, it's like, why not have Frost do it?
That's true. Maybe we'll see one of the fighters that have yet to be revealed for Universe 4 because remember they're still missing two. We don't know who these two fighters are. Right. One is Daemon, right? One is Daemon.
Yeah, Daemon, the insect warrior. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's another one that's still missing. Then Universe 6 also has two warriors that were behind Hit that we still haven't seen yet.
Yeah,
so
those
I feel
big
like
dudes. Yeah.
Same thing for Universe 2. They have that lion character and they have that other guy. So some universes do have characters that we haven't seen yet. I feel like maybe now might be the time to introduce maybe one or a couple here and there because we've yet to see anything from them, anything at all.
But so, also, they haven't really revealed any time that has passed in this episode, which again, it could be a minute, it could be 2 minutes. But
maybe less than a minute.
Yeah, either way, I think that having to look at what's being done in the Tournament of Power now, we have a ways to go. I mean, I'm talking about a ways to go. I mean, by the time we really get like all the good stuff going, it might be September, October, because as we talked about off camera, you have to get rid of the fodder universes. You have to give them a chance to be a little bit credible, but they have to go. And as we saw, Goku and Vegeta eliminated 10, including Frieza. So that was just one entire team gone in one episode. I don't think they're gonna do the same thing going into next week. However, this is gonna become the beginning of the downfall of Universe number 7. Krillin's gonna go, and then for all we know, it might be another surprise because we all originally thought it's gonna be Roshi or Tien. So they're like, you know what? Why not throw out Krillin? The next person after that might be Piccolo, or it might be 18 or 17. But speaking of 18. What do you think her role is going to be next week in terms of fighting? Because we saw her fight one of the female Pride Troopers last week, and now this week, all we saw her was pretty much stare out, into the distance as she saw Goku and Vegeta fight, and then she, continued to walk on. So she didn't have any care on helping them. So what do you think her role is going to be going into the tournament next week?
Well, I think her, amongst others as well, maybe even 17, they're going to have to realize that if they're going to get out of here, they're eventually going to have to work together. We saw a little bit, we even saw a little bit of that from Goku and Vegeta, which was really cool to see. The whole final Kamehameha thing was awesome. I did not expect to see that. So that was very interesting. So it's going to come down to that. Maybe Krillin getting disqualified or losing for the sake of his wife might snap a couple of things into her, to where she understands, you know what, let's work together, and then she might team up with the next best thing, that being her brother. So I would say that's probably how it might play out, because right now, a lot of people might have been surprised to see 18 and 17 go their separate ways, and only to hurt the team potentially, because obviously, imagine we've seen what 18 and 17. We have a gist, we have an idea as to what they're capable of, the things that they could do. So I would say they're kind of giving us maybe some drama or some backstory in order for them to realize that, okay, well, we're gonna have to work together. Maybe the constant teamwork is something that we should follow. If not, we're gonna start losing characters, especially with what's about to happen with Jiren coming into the picture soon, very soon in the near future. So they're gonna have to get their A game. They're gonna have to get on their A game. But maybe I would say maybe 18 knocked out that Pride Trooper, but then it's like, well, were the other Pride Troopers this busy that they didn't really come to help their fellow Pride Trooper? Granted, that Vegeta was able to come help Goku. So why can't the Pride Troopers prioritize teamwork? Why aren't they showcasing that? Another thing that bothered me was kind of like, well, Bergamo being the character to talk the most shit in this exhibition match, only to do absolutely nothing.
He was better suited in that. I mean, also what I wanted to ask you is, what was going on between him and Goku? I mean, we saw during the Zen exhibition, he had this giant form, right? I mean, I understand that Goku was preserving his ki and his energy, that way he doesn't pour out whatever to protect himself. But What happened? I mean, we all expected to see a giant Bergamo stomp around. Remember in the Zen exhibition, he was like, go ahead, hit me. The more you hit me, the more stronger I become. So it's like, Goku was hitting him. So it's like, did the barrier protect him? It's like, what's going on here? So that was BS if you ask me, because during the Zen exhibition, I think, during the Zen exhibition, we saw more from the brotherly trios than we did here. I mean,
in terms of one-on-one matchup, yeah, like it appeared it appeared. I was excited. Like I said, well, I feel like they work extremely well together. Not because they're brothers, but because they're based on wolves, and wolves always hunt in packs, right? Yeah. So it's like once the concept of that barrier came into play, the poison was negated, which is fine. Right. Obviously, they had to have a counter plan for that, right? So that's not a surprise. But then we saw, okay, so the poison was nothing. Bergamo didn't utilize his power, and Goku even told him, well, next time we fight, why don't you try using your own power? Then Bergamo was like, oh, I'll show you what I'm capable of now. And then they reused, and I don't want to, like I said, I don't want anybody to call me out for it. It's clear as day. Yeah, they did reuse the same animation that they used in this exhibition match. Yes, they did. So, which is kind of boring when we talk about. Last week we had Basil take, pretty much carry Universe 9 even to this day, and then Bergamo being the one to talk the most garbage to Goku, right? Even turning the gods on him, even making them focus on him. He did so much, and then to come into this episode and do absolutely zilch is. To me, I was like, well, okay, that was wasted.
Yeah, that was a definite waste, because a lot of us expected to see more from Bergamo, but all he really did was he just
nothing.
It's Son Goku, it's over. It's like, what? Like, that's all you're gonna do, bro?
Right. Yeah, that's all it was. I was disappointed to see that. I think it was wasted. I think there could have been some potential, like maybe I would say to showcase Bergamo. That's your chance, even if he's fodder. Right? Showcase something new from him, right? We saw Basil bring the same old tricks, but it was very effective. We didn't see Bergamo ring anybody out. We didn't see Lavenda do anything. I would say Lavenda was more aggressive than Bergamo, and Bergamo was supposed to be the strongest one of the three.
Yeah, so
it's like, well, I mean, what's the point at this point in time? So, but that's all done with. I think going into next week is really exciting. I think it's gonna keep getting, a little more dramatic, I would say. Now is a better time.
That ending was just beautiful. Okay, so right off the bat, because we're gonna touch upon this later on. Just right off the bat, we spoke about this vividly back in February, but that was when we didn't have that much information. We were going based off of a song. So what I wanted to ask you, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to know, and again, you guys can go to Emish's channel, because I'm pretty sure Emish is going to talk about this as well. Go to Emish's channel for more information on this. So what I wanted to ask you is based on this ending, because normal people don't do this. Okay. What are your overall expectations as to what you saw from the Angel and from the Daishinkan? And the reason why I'm asking you this is because once we saw, the universe get erased, we see Goku look up, and he looks like he has like that face of like disgust. He's like, dude, why? And he's angry. And Daishinkan looks down upon him, smiling. Very sinister like, right? But then we see Universe number 9's Mojito, and he's there, he's smiling. Now, I have two assumptions on that. Number one, it may be because he's glad that, because he never got along with that god, right? He never got along with them, so he's kind of happy. Or my second assumption is, well, maybe he's kind of glad because this opens up an opportunity for him to go far in something else. Because I think that it's very ominous the way it was portrayed. So what I wanted to ask you is, do you think there is I hate to say the word hidden agenda, but is there kind of a hidden agenda, or a hidden plan, or something ominous about the setting here? There's a very dark setting about the Daishinkan and the Angel. Again, it's only based off of what we're seeing through our perception, but like based off of what we saw at the very end, what did you take from that, and what do you see going forward, in terms of like the overall grand design of like the Grand Priest and what may lie there?
To be honest, I didn't see much from it. I saw it like, okay, now Universe 9 shall be erased, and I was like, okay, it's about that time, it's do or die at this point, right? So then, Zeno, they both respond, hi, they say yes, and they erase it. Boom, done, everything is done. The Angel smirked, he was happy. I mean, we know he didn't like the universe. Not only the god, he just didn't like the universe in general, like according to his character bios, right? And as for the Daishinkan, it's natural they have to make him look that way. If you guys remember the Universe Survival Arc trailer, when that first leaked, right, and everybody was like, oh my god.
I told everybody, I told everybody a universe was
That's
gonna
what
get
that scene
destroyed.
was.
Everyone's like, no,
Yeah,
no.
right.
Look what
They
happened.
literally showed it. We just said this.
Yeah, we literally, guys, they
Yeah.
literally showed us this in January.
Right. So all this was planned already. So it has nothing to do, it has nothing to do, I think, something being ominous. From the get-go, they portray him to be ominous because this is a god-tier character, passing down judgment.
Right.
So naturally, from a mortal's perspective, it's going to look like, oh my god, there's a hidden agenda, da, da, da. I mean, this is still not enough evidence at all. Not even a little piece of it to say that there's evidence that there's a hidden agenda. For what? What's the hidden agenda? They can destroy universes. They can create new ones. There's nothing, there's nothing special there, right?
Exactly,
So
and this is why. This is why I
so-
was gonna say. We're gonna touch up on this later on because, generally speaking, I know you have a very different viewpoint on this. But in correlation to this, do you see anyone questioning the Grand Priest in the next episode? For example, Goku saying, "Hey, I thought we would have to wait until the end or something." Do you see anybody kind of questioning these people, or just it's gonna be nothing?
No, it's based on his character. I would say, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Goku said some stupid shit to him, right? So that's in his nature. He might say something to Zeno, whatever. But at this point in time, it's needed. It's needed because it applies pressure not only to Goku because he deserves it the most, but it applies pressure to everybody else who thinks this is a game, who thinks that all the fighters too. I mean, did you see some of them? Like
I felt bad for the fighters. I really did. I felt bad for them.
Right, but some of them were like willing to jump out of the ring, even knowing what's on the line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like dude, like you might as well just go out in a blaze of glory. But
Sidra, come on,
Sidra
let's not deny he went out like a G. He went out like a G. No emotion, no nothing. Just closed his eyes and that was it.
Fuck me.
That was it, bro. Like
Make it quick.
like that. I mean, that was a pivotal moment, and I think that going into next week, I think that there is gonna be a little bit of like, tension between the gods. It's like, oh my god, because if you saw towards the very end, we see Gowasu, we see Liquor, and they're staring at Mojito, and he's just laughing. It's just like, dude, like this is serious shit. So, but what I also wanted to ask you is, aside from there being questions asked from Goku and whatnot, do you see any sort of like snippet of Jiren or Hit in next week's episode? Anything at all?
No.
Nothing from those two. Hidden, just like this episode.
Yeah, hidden. I would say, yeah, maybe wait until episode 100 for sure. That's what we're supposed to see him, I think. Right?
I think that again, just like the previous episode, I think Goku's gonna make eye contact with Jiren again.
And
nah,
Son Goku.
Son Goku. No, but just that, I think that again, Goku's gonna make eye contact, but he's gonna get distracted once more. It only makes sense for Goku to be interested in him, and then somebody comes along the lines and messes it up for you. So because that's a great setup.
Right, you're right. I just feel like because Krillin is about to get disqualified soon, I feel like they're gonna heavily focus on him and to try to preserve and protect his character because he's very popular in Japan. So not everybody wants to see him, just go out and that's it. There's no more Krillin, right? Because a lot of people are big fans of him, so it's gonna hurt them. It's gonna hurt his, I guess, in terms of market value, stuff like that. So they have to showcase certain things with him, maybe him thinking about certain things, maybe him talking a certain way, and then eventually going down in a blaze of glory, which is fitting in terms of protecting his character, right? But I feel like, honestly, it kind of reminds me of the Cell arc when he didn't want to press that button, and he made the same mistake again. I mean, his team needs him, so even if Android 18 does get knocked out or something happens to her, he clearly came into this fight, into this match, knowing what's on the line.
Yep.
He even, I mean, he knew his wife is joining. He knows what's on the line. He knows what's going on. So, to say it's questionable. We saw this in the Cell arc. He didn't want to press that button. Once again, Trunks got shot in the chest, and he was more concerned with picking up 18 versus helping Trunks, right? I mean, Yamcha, right? So it's stuff like that really puts a damper on certain things. I'm not trying to nitpick on Krillin. I'm not trying to beat him up. Obviously, I've been saying for the past few weeks that we need him. Universe 7 needs his tactical ability if they're going to be able to, push forward, a lot easier than, they normally would have. So I admit that. I'm not denying that. But I just feel like, him being this emotional and, after we just had like 2 episodes of him training and him, having this epiphany and realizing that, his team needs him, realizing that he has to be able to fight again, all this other stuff, only to waste it on him saying, oh, my wife. Like, I get it, don't get me wrong, like, I have a wife too, but I'm just saying.
Well, so what you're saying is you expected more from the character.
Yes, yeah, especially if he's this hyped, if he
a lot of us did too, actually. I'm not gonna lie to you.
The things he did to Gohan, the things he did to Goku, only for him to go out like that is kind of questionable to me. But at the end of the day, Can't argue. It's tournament power. I'm happy that it's finally here. Obviously, I'm not going to be happy with everything I see. Just like you've been saying for the past few weeks, we're going to see shit that doesn't make sense.
I told you guys.
Shit that did not make sense in this episode. There's a lot of things that did not make sense in this episode. But you know, it is what it is. I mean, rip.
What about Gohan? Because I know that we're getting some stuff from Gohan. We saw him. We saw him jump in the middle and like just kind of like deflect something from an ongoing attack from Krillin. So, do you see anything you know, happening with Gohan next week in terms of like development or no?
Development, no, but probably they're gonna give us some snippets of him. You know, people are gonna. We have to see something from Gohan. We see something from Roshi again.
Yeah,
right? So
Kamehameha. Cool. I mean, even though it's not much, it's still something.
I just hope it does something this time, right? So it's like, I just hope it really does something this time. Gohan is, you know, even if you give us 5 seconds of Gohan's, you know, fans will be happy that we saw him. They're gonna give Gohan 5 seconds of something, but it's gonna be 5 seconds of like fucking something epic, right?
Yeah.
Like he's gonna just teleport the same way he did to Tien and just smack that, you know, that key blast away, and then that's it. He's gonna go somewhere else. You know, I mean, that would be cool. But even it's interesting, man, because we still don't have definitive information that showcases, you know, how Gohan's gonna have a spotlight. So it's obvious that they're kind of saving him. They might tease us here and there the same way they're teasing Jiren. The way they're portraying Gohan's character right now, the fact that he's focused on teamwork, which is good because he's the team leader. At the same time, it's like they're really preserving him because he hasn't really, in terms of on-screen time, showcased to take, you know, to go into combat yet, to actual fight yet with Piccolo too as well. So they had that one scene, but that was it, right? So we see the sunglasses with Andrew 18, so probably we're gonna see the Solar Flare again. Maybe the Solar Flare times 100. You know, a lot of things are gonna happen. So I think they really need to focus on Krillin at this point in time, especially if you're gonna bring him out. It only makes sense to really focus on him. I just hope at least he gets one ring out, man. Like, can he knock somebody out for at least just one?
I hope so too, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I think he deserves it in terms of, especially if you're gonna market him that way. I think it would be a big mistake for him to just get disqualified and not go down, you know, at least helping the team, right? So that's just how I feel about that.
Let us know what you guys think down in the comment section below and pertains to next week's episode, because again, I think that there's more tension now than anything else, and I also think that going into next week's episode, it's gonna build up towards seeing devastation occur, because now, as you just said earlier, we're gonna see universes take things a bit more serious, because nobody really assumed that, you know, universe number 9 or whoever's gonna go out first. And Omni King said, I mean, right before, you know, Rose said Zeno, Omni King said yes, squish. It was over. It was like, wow, okay, damn, like everything was gone. So leave your thoughts down below as to what you guys expect to see, as to what you guys want to see in pertains to Krillin, Gohan, Goku. I think that they might, you know, give a little bit of, you know, airtime for Jiren, at least showcasing him. Just stand there. I mean, he's not doing much now, but you can bet your left testicle, episode 100, he's gonna knock somebody out. So
maybe just a little bit of him per episode, just to keep us thinking about him, right?
And also hit too. You can't keep them fully hidden.
Yeah,
just
where is it,
show us their face, right? Just do something to where like they're at least staring at you. It's like, because I mean, those two characters, I'm sorry, if I was in the Tournament of Power, I'd shit my pants just because of the way they look at you. It's like, okay, I'm gonna stay away from that guy because he looks like he's up to no good. But post your comments down below. Also, guys, make sure to subscribe to Emish's Live. He's about to break 4,500 subscribers, and let's see if we can get him to 5,000, guys. That'd be awesome. And thank you all for watching, guys. As always, if you guys enjoyed it, leave a like down below. Tune back in for more. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll be seeing you all in the next Dragon Ball video. Take it easy, guys. Peace.